What's up, metal and heavy music fans? Let's check out more of your underground metal recommendations on Bandcamp. Alright, we've got Spook the Beast with Where All Things Die out of Waterloo, Ontario. Waterloo! Going for some doom. Just a little 2-song EP here. The groove. I like the artwork. I like the vocals too. For like kind of a sludgier overall vibe, it seems like. I like the logo too. Truly. Yeah, those big rumbly. Just catchy. Yeah, when it comes to sludge, just give me those really infectious grooving guitar lines that really get under your skin. And I do appreciate the screamy vocals. I think it steps it up a little bit for me, since I'm not as big into like traditional doom vocals. It's almost like spoken word. I like how it's layered. It's got kind of a like spell casting, sort of like ritualistic mantra. Got a very like desert kind of vibe to it too. Chuggier one here. Solid atmosphere. Ooh. It's that bass. That's crunchy. I like that. The drums are cool too, like that little part there, but I feel like that's one area where they could improve is the production on the drums sounds a little bit compressed. Like if you could punch up that drum sound and make it sound a little bit more organic and live. Because there's some cool stuff happening with the rhythms here. That bass sounds awesome. Yeah, I think as far as songwriting goes and performances, like y'all got it. Just like figure out how to like really capture all this atmosphere and especially the punch of that drum tone with your production and you'll go far. But yeah, that is Spook the Beast with Where All Things Die. Then we've got Devour Every Star with Antiquity. Okay, this is a change of pace. We Play Sadness is all it says in the About section. I like that. Out of Madison, Wisconsin. This is like something I'd expect to hear as like the beat for like a Tyler the Creator song. Okay, here come the metal elements. What's in their tags? Black metal, death metal, experimental, hip hop, instrumental. So jazzy. It really does remind me of like underground 90s 2000s hip hop, especially stuff like Cannibal Ox, or again some of Tyler's stuff, especially when he's doing things with Frank Ocean. But then you've got this kind of like doomy metal in the background. I'd be really interested to hear Tyler do like a metal collab. I think he's moved away somewhat from like the heavier stuff in his career. He's more about this side, but I'd be interested. This is pretty chill though. More good like thinking music, studying, doing work. It's got a great energy to it. I like the drum. You know what else it reminds me of? It's got a little bit of like Akira Yamaoka vibes from Silent Hill. Like especially I'm thinking like the sound when you go in the nightclub, or the strip club, I should say, in Silent Hill 2. Got a little bit of that energy to it. But yeah, very interesting. Something different. So that is Devour Every Star with Antiquity. Next up is Archierophant with The Third Flame, and it is from a split with Dusklurker. I'm familiar with Dusklurker, actually. Covered them previously. entwining cathartic vocals alongside non-theistic lyrical themes. Raw black metal with hints of traditional dungeon synth, Gregorian chants, and cinematic orchestration. Okay. Just 4 tracks. I think we're just listening to their side of this split. Yeah, just catching that traditional black metal sound, more on the side of like Emperor, with that like kind of the symphonic editions. His vocals are pleasingly despairing. Band's out of London. I'm going for more. This reminds me of the last one. It's like quiet piano intro. Again, with those kind of like Silent Hill vibes. Oh wow, so they're going for that like beauty angle. I like the contrast of this like really lush sounding atmosphere in the piano with these more depressive, aggressive vocals. It's very pretty. Throw on a little Dusklurker here to get the other half of this. Oh! Yeah, even Mirar with them. Sounds like we're going for even more kind of cult, true cult. More on the like mayhem, Dark Throne side of the spectrum. That part reminds me a little bit of like early Enslaved though. I like the echo on the vocals. Really capturing that like recorded in like a dark cavern sound. There's tremolo lines, good energy. Good stuff. You want some traditional, more second wave sounding black metal, then check out Archierophant and Dusklurker for their splits. Then we've got Empty Hollow with Trilogy out of Slovakia. Going for some gent here. We've got a bunch of stuff now. I believe the latest song is Shattered. That's interesting, because they're all from here, but Shattered's marked as the newest release. Just good head bobbing, Meshuggah inspired deathcore. Vocals are nice. Got some time. Ooh. Those punchy breakdown sections. Nothing we haven't heard before, but doesn't mean I want it to go away either. Doesn't mean I don't want to get my skull smashed in every now and then. Yeah, a little binary. Reminds me of a lot of the like kind of beat down, down tempo stuff coming out, where it's more like just the chug and the rhythm with some atmosphere. A lot like what's that band? Like Descent? I don't think that's right. Something like that. It's one of them unique leader bands. They do it well though. I just like a little bit more kind of like technicality and some like little flourishes thrown in, kind of like Within the Ruins style. Good atmosphere though. These little breaks are cool too. Got some dynamics. That part's cool. I'm feeling some vague like little Jarta influences here too, maybe. Yeah, it's solid for a 3-song EP. Yeah, I'm interested. It's not something I would like listen to a ton. But what I personally, just me, and there are plenty of people who would like this just the way it is, but I would appreciate just a little bit more kind of trickery on the guitar. A little bit of like mathcore influence thrown in there, just for good measure, but that's just me. But yeah, good stuff. Empty Hollow, Trilogy. Alright, we're gonna do Kontagion with Kontagion of Poland. Ooh. Interested to hear where this goes. Hearing a little like new metal in there, a little like 90s kind of like helmet vibe. This is interesting. Where is this gonna go? What do we got in the tags? Death metal, groove metal, industrial metal, post metal. Interesting cover too. Can't fully tell what I'm looking at there. Is it like a big curtain? That bass. It's like a corn bass on crack. The guitars have a little like corn influence too, it feels like an early corn. Even the drum sound, I guess that's the closest thing I would compare this to is like on the early Korn albums when they'd like have the long like outro, especially on like the first album where they're just kind of like jamming while Jonathan Davis is having like a breakdown. Oh, this one's a little bit more Fear Factory. There's that industrial influence coming in. Definitely could see how a little bit stronger production would be helpful for what these guys are going for. But there's some sort of charm in the rawness of it too. Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of like late 90s, early 2000s reference points on this from a couple different things. Again, we got some new metal, some industrial metal. They put their own like little spin on it. I also hear again that like alternative metal and alternative rock influence. This part's a little bit like Roots Sepultura with the drumming. Oh yeah, this could totally be off of some early 2000s new metal album. It's fun. You don't get releases that sound like this very often, so I'm for it. I'm still a new metal fan at heart. I think most of this generation has just accepted it now. That drumming's pretty cool. There's some neat things going on there. Again, very punchy as well. I could see these guys doing something with like Tala. I could see room for a collab there. But yeah, that is Kontagion with Kontagion. Then we have Altesia with Embryo. Looks like we're going back to the more atmospheric side. It's very symphonic from the cover. These guys are out of France. Continuing to circle the globe today. Ooh, I like that brass. Ooh, okay. I just saw they have Opeth in their FFO, and I definitely hear that with these guitars and the vocals together. Also referencing Haken, Dream Theater. Yeah, definitely hear that. Leprous, Between the Buried and Me, Caligula's Horse, and Wilder Run. All great reference points. Oh, you know what? I think I've covered these guys before. I think we covered Paragon Circus. Could be mistaken, but that looks super familiar. That cover. Yeah, this is one I'm gonna want to dig into a little bit more deeply. Ooh, we got some traditional kind of like 70s style Hammond organ. I'm such a sucker for that guitar sound. Like, ever since I got into Opeth in high school, that's been like written into my DNA. These slower, more dynamic sections. A little head sway. Get some jazz in there. I think my one critique is, even though I like what they're doing with these clean vocals, I think some practice in the vocals would be helpful. Because I'm hearing how they're not as strong as, say, like Fractal Universe or of course Opeth. even Dream Theater. Like, I think if you really want to step it up, like some vocal lessons would go a long way. Like, it definitely doesn't sound bad by any means. In fact, I really like how it's coming together. But if I'm honing in on the one element that's, like, standing out to me that could be better, it's the vocals. Or use a little bit more studio trickery. Like, I'm not against that, as long as it doesn't end up sounding like T-Pain. Got the slower stuff. Yeah, I'm really digging this, though. Like, I kind of want to, like... I don't have as much to listen to for December. You may be watching this episode in January. I'm not sure when I'm putting it up, because I already had, like, over an hour for December put together. Ooh, got some accordion, too. Yeah, this is... I have a feeling there's a lot of surprises I'm missing here. But just as a little sample to get you interested, this is Altesia with Embryo. Alright, we got Hope Drone with Husk. Whoa. Another band I covered with Cloak of Ash way back in 2015. I might have done something with Void Luster, I'm not sure. That doesn't look as familiar. There's 4 songs here, but getting progressively longer as we go along. We're in Australia now, Brisbane. And by the way, if you're new here, subscribe. If you know, are actually going to watch too, don't pity subscribe, don't like subscribe and walk away. But if you could see yourself watching more of this, I do these about monthly, this particular longer series. And then I also do shorter form album reviews for new releases, lists, tier lists of classic bands, discographies, that sort of thing, best of the month. So yeah, stick around if that sounds appealing to you. But yeah, I'm digging this. It's more kind of like on the atmospheric black metal, black gazy side. We got post-black in the tags, as well as post-rock and doom. Those vocals remind me of something really strongly. It's like on the tip of my tongue. Ooh. See, this is the kind of like post-black that I like, where it's not just the endless like drifting guitar passages. Like, I like that, but they vary it up with these more textured sections with the big pounding drums. Oh, you know what the vocals remind me of? The Lion's Daughter. Very reminiscent of The Lion's Daughter. One of my favorite albums of 2021. Ooh, got some industrial in here. A little bit of LLNN in there as well. Denmark band, if I'm remembering. There's a subtle little like synth in here too with that ding. Like that big cymbal strike is accompanied by this little like ding. It's like kind of buried in the background, but that's a nice little touch with the layers. I'm trying to make sense of this cover. It feels like a magic eye or something. Yeah, this is really solid too. Now there's so much. There's just so much music. Like, I always find myself being like, man, I wish I could cover it all. I wish I could cover more. And that's where this segment was born, is it's just a way for me to like really, you know, throw 25 albums at you from the underground without having to, you know, prepare a script for every single one, which is just not possible. So go check out these bands and these albums, because they deserve the attention, and please do share these episodes with other people you think would be interested, because the more people watch, the more potential viewers for all these bands. But that is Hope Drone with Husk. Alright, we got Myrkri with Bag Skyggernes Slør out of Denmark. Speaking of Denmark, very traditional black metal looking cover, like the painted quality of it. Oh, and Into the Raw. It's also interesting to me that difference in production when you've got the symphonic elements coming in kind of clear, and then the black metal instrumentation comes in so raw. I really like how this moon against these clouds looks, and the trees against the darkness. Definitely nailing the coldness of that little landscape there. I feel like, oh, this is cool too. I feel like they could be doing more with the production. Like, I hear that they're going for this rawer side, but I feel like I'm picking up on a more attention to atmosphere than I'd expect from a band going for this style. Like, I think this style fits the more straightforward, balls to the wall, Dark Throne kind of sound. But I feel this sense of, especially with the headphones on, like, I can hear this atmosphere, like, just out of reach. And it's like my ears are, like, begging, like, give me more of that. Like, let me actually hear it. Because it's all just, like, buried. So I think y'all would benefit more from a little bit, not, you know, not a super modern, glossy production, but something a little bit more expansive. Look to Enslaved, I think, in particular, because especially their, like, mid-career albums kind of strike that balance between capturing the fullness of their sound. Yeah, like here, like, with this synth, I'd like to hear more of kind of what I'm hearing in my headphones now on this part, on the more aggro parts. Oh, we're going for like a full synth and ambient arrangement on that one. Sounds like those tracks run together too, that's kind of cool. So yeah, now we're back into this more kind of buried style. Yeah, I think you could bring it forward a little bit more. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm wrong, and it's fine just the way it is. But as far as like the arrangements themselves, what I'm hearing, solid stuff. So that is Myrkri with Skyggernes Slør. Then we have Lunarite with Distance. Ooh, more prog. Very kind of periphery-esque riff there. These guys are out of Serbia. Really kind of leaving no corner unturned today. Full-on gent. Ooh, soloing too. Also reminds me a little bit of Mandel's solo work. Mandel, formerly of Aborted. Ooh. Man, that solo's wicked. I like this part. I love when they've got the fast, like, raging technical parts of the solo with the, like, really head-bobby, hypnotic rhythm guitar. For the faster, chuggier one here. Ooh. Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you're speaking my language, man. I love that. These are those like little mathcore influences I kind of would like to see on that earlier project that I covered. Those little runs of the picking sections are just cocaine to my ears. This sounds awesome. Another example of like instrumental music that I would actually like jam on the regular, because the guitars like do all the talking. Like you don't really need the vocals. I'm trying to figure out even what type of vocals I would put over this, but I'd feel like it would almost detract from it. And this is excellent. Good stuff. Yeah, that is Lunarite with Distance. Definitely check them out. And we got Matador with The Surge. Lots of 4-song EPs today. Out of Vancouver, British Columbia. So we got a trio here. Drumming. Really cool here. Instrumental post-rock and metal band. Another instrumental. Lots of 90s vibes on this one too. Blends heavy, driving, and doomy post-metal with emotive, melodic, and atmospheric post-rock. Hear that happening right now. Looks like they got a video too. from the recording studio, from the looks of it. Yeah, we got the aggressive and the chill. Another one that, there were a bunch of bands I was listening to in college that were like local or would come through, and I would go to these instrumental shows, and they were fun. They were a fun experience. Lots of good guys there too. Yeah, good atmosphere. Different take on instrumental from the previous one. This is again more falling in the vein of like thinking, studying kind of music. Like that tone. Buzzing, rubbling. I can picture like all the wood in that studio just like coming off the walls from the vibration. Got some cool little, just play with the sticks on the rim. I really like the drums in general here are just kind of like really adding a lot of texture and just additional kind of punch to everything. Cool stuff. Yeah, that's Matador with The Surge. And then we have VHS with I Heard They Suck.
Hey,
Blood.
Tonight I'm going to suck
Your blood.
your blood.
I love old school Simpsons intro. Featuring Trevor Strand of the Black Dahlia murder? Say what now? How did y'all manage this? The cover. These guys are out of Thunder Bay, Ontario. Old school death metal punk simplicity and a dose of 80s hair metal thrash. Is that Trevor doing like a completely different voice? Oh, there he is. I can recognize him there. Yeah, I want to know how y'all pulled that off. Interesting. Yeah, definitely very old school, very raw. Definitely hearing those like punk influences too, but that's really interesting that you got Trevor. Different style for his voice to be on too. Got like a news show style video, it looks like. Kind of like death and roll style too. Lots of horror themes, obviously. This game's fun. I have a feeling the vocals have some fun to dig into. This one's featuring Dave Ingram, whose name sounds super familiar, but I can't place it at the moment. Let me know in the comments where they're from, because I can't search at the moment. Yeah, just very like old school. Appropriate to this, I think you've got the perfect band name too, because you're capturing this kind of retro vibe across the board. Logo even reminds me of like old horror movie company logos. Catching that whole era of the music, the movies.
Peter, morden Sie uns.
The samples. Fun, seems fun. Seems like a good band to see live too. Yeah, that is VHS with I Heard They Suck. Blood. Alright, next up we have You Matter from Ripcord Records, which is a sampler I wanted to draw attention to. Now each of these are different artists, obviously, for each track. All proceeds go to people who are dealing with a word I'm always uncomfortable saying on YouTube, because sometimes they will zap your video because they don't understand context. But let's just say it's a benefit for people who are dealing with a lot of depression, strife, mental health related issues, and specifically leading to behaviors that we'd rather not see them engage in. And there's a lot of great artists on here. Got Lang, which I've covered before. Collapse, I believe I've covered before. Lots of different styles. LLNN is on here, who I included in one of my Best of the Month lists. Awesome post-metal, sludge kind of stuff. Some stuff on here I'm not as familiar with. We also got Hexus, though. Some, like, Scandinavian, like, blackened hardcore Underdark. And, again, all proceeds go to a good place. It's Name Your Own Price, so highly recommend you just give this thing a listen for your own musical benefit and the benefit of others. Then we've got Ashbreather with Ow My Eye. With this weird cover. I'm like, ooh, got some strings in here, some like jazzy vibes. You look at this cover and I'd assume it to be like a grindcore album or like a just brutal death metal album. Let's see. Progressive sludge death metal featuring former members of the Wild Hunt. So more of like progressive death metal with some additional twists. Interesting picture. It's got a little bit of like that avant-garde black metal vibe to it too. I like these riffs. A little bit of like early to mid-career Enslaved in there. They do have jazz and jazz fusion in the tags. Another Name Your Price, just 3 songs. Ooh. This part's like Abyssus. Ooh, I like that. That's fucking rad. That part was a little bit like a neon, however you pronounce it. So you've got these silly titles and kind of tongue-in-cheek like art and album title, but then you've got this like pretty cool, unique, impressive music here. This has some like 70s like psychedelic rock. Picturing like the Doors playing this part. Yeah, y'all, I know you're like, I appreciate that you're not trying to take yourselves too seriously. Like, I really do think that's important. And I worry that somebody who's not as adventurous as I will look at this cover and this title and immediately write it off before they even give it a chance. Like, putting your best foot forward. Unfortunately, a lot of people do judge a book by its cover, so I think that's my only critique, because the music sounds really awesome, so yeah, definitely encouraging people to check this out, and I'm looking forward to giving this thing a full dedicated spin. Then we have Christ the Bait with Idolatrosities. Idolatrosities. I like this cover. Simple but effective. This has a very like 90s vibe. Even in the production. It sounds a little muffled, but I like that it has like kind of a little helmet and Soundgarden to it. Yeah, this is so like not of this era. This is totally something I would have heard on Q101 back in Chicago, back in the 90s. It's kind of cool. I think the harsh vocals could use a little work. They're a little rough. And again, the production could be a little bit clearer. But overall, I like the vibe that they're going for here. This is cool. Yeah, this is like pure... something that would be on like the Crow soundtrack. The bass sounds cool. The drums sound great too. I could be wrong, but the production sounds a little bit better on this track. I don't know if it's different or not. But this is an 11-minute song too. Oh, they have a 24-minute one too. This one has even more helmet vibes too. Thinking of like Wilma's Rainbow. Yeah, very interesting. Very unique to hear in 2021. Although I think by the time you're watching this episode, it'll probably be 2022. Happy New Year. Boy, 24 minutes. I'm really interested in how this all plays out in this style. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give this a full spin to like really give you an idea. But I'm hoping sampling this gives you enough of a, it piques your interest enough to check it out on your own. So that is Christ the Bait with Idolatrosities. Then we have Boar Hammer with 1, cutting wood for magical purposes. Getting a little grimier. Ritualistic black metal primitivism. It's the description. It's out of Germany. Rougher production. There's a Merciful Fate cover here too. This is like almost more like proto black metal. It's got that like Venom vibe to it. Yeah, a little bit more of that like 80s influence on it. And they do have Doom in the tags too. I'm hearing a lot of that. Even the cover looks like something I would have expected from that era. You know, Venom, Bathory, all that good stuff. Which makes sense that they have a Merciful Fate cover then too. Yeah, you know, I get a lot of black metal, but I don't get a lot of this era of black metal, so appreciative of that. I like how they're fusing the black and the doom elements. Really solid atmosphere. Another name your price too. We're on a roll. That. Ooh, cool little drum break here. I'm liking the melodies they're picking with the guitars too. They're kind of earworm. Vocals are strong. They've got a lot of presence. And despite the raw production, which always takes my ears like kind of a second to readjust after listening to something more modern, I think they're really doing a lot with it. So yeah, cool stuff. It's Boar Hammer with cutting wood for magical purposes. Then we have Dionisyan with Last Millennium. This is out of Italy. It's like a solo project based on the photo here. Third Metal Opera 1. More doomy vibes in these guitars. More atmosphere. We got ambient, death metal, doom metal, melodic metal, neoclassical in the tags. I feel like slowly but surely y'all are working hard to turn me into a Doom fan here. It might be working. Slowly but surely. I'd say this year, 2021, has had the most Doom releases I've actually been interested in and engaged in than maybe any other year. Yeah, this stuff is still a little bit drawn out. Like if I'm sitting here, ooh, like this choral part. If I'm sitting here just listening to the full thing, I still wonder if I'm gonna start to check out, which is just me. I'm sorry, but that's just my attention span, I guess. But hearing the snippets here, like I like, again, the guitar melodies. I like the tone. Atmosphere is really solid. I liked that choral stuff. Kind of liking this clean here too. Yeah, just maybe a little slow for my taste overall, but if you're just wanting that dank, atmospheric funeral doom, then this seems like it's probably going to be right up your alley. So let me know down in the comments, you Doom fans, what you're thinking of this when you give it more time. But that is Dionisyan with Last Millennium. Then a couple of picks here that I threw on because I know that there's a lot coming out in January and I'm not going to be able to cover it all, even in the roundups. So I threw a couple in here, one of which is Apes with Lullabies for Eternal Sleep. Very just raunchy, cavernous death metal with some hints of grind and black. Reminds me a little bit of some of the faster moments from Primitive Man. Reminds me a little bit of... what's the name of that? There's another band that even uses a similar aesthetic to this in their album covers and has a very similar sound, and I'm blanking on it. There is a stink bug on my microphone. Get out of here. This time of year in Oregon, they are all over the place. You basically can't avoid them. Death Grind, Canada in the tags. These guys are out of Quebec. By the time this video goes up, this will be out in full. But it is a December release. Is it calling on me now? I think it is. Freaking, those things are harmless, but they're annoying. Yeah, just raunchy. More atmosphere too. Lots of very atmospheric stuff today. Gosh, I wish I could think of that other band. I can even picture one of their album covers in my head, but it's just not coming to me. Usually someone in the comments swoops in to save me on these. So yeah, maybe this ended up in my best of December roundup. For some reason I thought this was coming out in January, but this says December, so we'll just have to see. But yeah, that is Apes with Lullabies for Eternal Sleep. And then we also have Abyssus with Death Revival out of Greece on Transcending Obscurity. I always like to share some stuff from buddies at another label. So this is the January release. Just straight up old school death metal, worshipping the classics like Death. Hearing a lot of that in their sound. Especially like that kind of proggier direction of their later albums. But yeah, you just hear a ton of that influence in here. There's an album too that I was like, I like it, but I just don't see myself having a ton to say about it. So I feel like so much has been said about this style already, but don't take that to mean I don't think it's good. So I definitely wanted to feature it somewhere. Lots of great riffing, lots of those great raspy old school vocals, nice D beats, good energy. That's so Death. They're like almost like a just straight up Death cover band, but they're better than that. You know, some people would find that insulting. Some people would be pleased to hear that, but I don't know. Yeah, it just seems like a fun time. I had a lot of people not a lot of people. I had a few people complaining in my best of 2021 death metal list that there wasn't enough like old school, just classic style death metal in there. So I try to cover that elsewhere. Those just weren't my favorite of the year, but this is one I think that crew will enjoy. So again, that is Abyssus with Death Revival. Then we have Trimus Records with this and Terror Scum split. I don't know if there's a translation of this somewhere. It's a DIY label concentrated on punk and metal releases. Yeah, I'm not seeing a translation of this this other one. More kind of like old school and again punk infused death metal crust. I like this picture they've chosen. Yeah, I'm digging this. I can't I don't know what your name is, guys. I don't know how to say it, but digging your sound. It's very aggro. I like the production on the vocals with the reverb. It's got this like cavernous vibe to it. Some blackened energy mixed with the old school. Let's check out Terror Scum. A little more direct tone with the guitar on this one. More of like a Pig Destroyer sound. Ooh, more brutal, deeper vocals. Ooh. That riff is actually kind of reminds me of, there's a Deftones song called Teething, I think is the one I'm thinking of. Reminds me a little bit of that. Almost a little bit of like an industrial vibe to it too. Yeah, I can dig this. Only $1. More great energy in the drums. Yeah, fun stuff. Ooh. Ooh, I like that bass. That was a nice little run there with the guitar and the bass playing off of each other. And then the chuggy, kind of thrashy part there. Yeah, this is more like Pig Destroyer energy for this part. Very cool. So yeah, that is these guys and Terror Scum, and they're split through Trimus Records. Then we have Novichok with Wounds. Lots of short releases in this grouping here. We're in Russia now. Love this cover. Another one that reminds me of kind of like scary stories to tell in the dark. More of that cavernous death metal people were wanting. I'm sensing a lot of like Portal comparison here, and maybe Abyssal too. That's like hellish. It's just like straight out of like a pit into hell. You could hear this voice calling out. Deviant blackened death metal is their description. Digging it so far. Another band too that's doing a lot with the raw production. Pick the production that fits your music the best, not the other way around. Some bands know how to harness this. Others, it ends up being a detriment. Here, I think it works. It's drowning it out a little bit, but it's also creating this very like insect-like swarming vibe to it. I'd like a little more of the drums, maybe a little bit more impact there, but it's a tough balance. It's very just like blistering. Look at this logo. Another one to add to the pantheon of unreadable death metal and black metal logos. Like, this literally looks like that meme where it's like the leather couch that's all scratched and cracked. Yeah, digging this. Lots of good death metal in a number of different styles today. Novichok with Wounds. And then we have Alchemista with Cinzas, or Cinzas, out of Portugal. And the description is in probably Portuguese. Looks like maybe a solo project of Pedro Serpa. Musician, graphic designer, guitar player, something about local bands, I think, from or near, or around the 90s? I don't know Portuguese. I'm figuring it out the best I can. Anyways, music. Looks like we got more doom here. What a cool cover. Kind of death doomy vibe. Some shorter tracks, some longer tracks. Gothic metal also in the tags. Some of these riffs are a little bit like Rotting Christ too. Like that one in particular. Very much has that vibe. But then dipping into these even more slower, doomier parts. I like that little harmony there between them. Yeah, more of this just like slow molasses death doom. It does have a lot of like that kind of Greek sound to it. Portugal's got a lot of cool black and death metal. You know how many doom bands I've heard from that region? Our longest track here, the title track, almost 12 minutes. Good mix of cleans and harsh vocals, some acoustic in here. How much of a build-up we get here. Let's Seems kind of all over the place. I don't want to spoil it too much, because this does seem like a track and probably an album that you want to experience as a whole. But yeah, more Doom for you with Alchemista and Synthsaz. Alright, next up we have Blind Equation with Life is Pain. Love the color scheme here. So this is like a... almost like blackened Nintendo core. Oh, they're out of Illinois. That's where I grew up. Northwest suburbs of Chicago, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, black metal, grindcore, hyper pop, MySpace, emotional cyber grind. Lots of cool tags here. Looks like we got a video as well. You know, I love like MySpace core and Nintendo core too, so this is right up my era, like alley era too. Throwing back to like Horse the Band and all that stuff. Gengistron. More recent stuff, Zombie Shark, which also use a similar color scheme for like black and purple. This is awesome. Name your price too. Yeah, this is fucking rad. I know this is not going to be for everyone, but I'm loving this. To the point where I wish I'd heard it earlier in the year, because... dude, how can you not like that? Like, that's just fun. Yeah, I'm definitely going to add this to the collection. And maybe find an excuse to cover this again somewhere else, too. This is super fun. I mean, it's just like listening to like a metal version of like, you know, a really good old Nintendo or Super Nintendo track. It like cheats you with that like sense of nostalgia too. But really beautiful too in some of these like slower parts. Hey, speaking of Zombie Shark, look at that. Featuring Zombie Shark. Corey, maybe it'll be out by the time this video goes up, but Corey from Zombie Shark is actually doing the artwork for the t-shirts. Yeah, that's sick though. That's awesome. I want to listen to this whole thing. So this is Blind Equation with Life is Pain. Next up we've got Feral Season with Rotting Body in the Range of Light out of California. Okay, going back to more of a traditional black metal here. I like this cover. It's just something about it. It's very aesthetically pleasing. Looks like Oregon. More on the atmospheric side of things. USBM, atmospheric black metal, profound lore. Cool band photo too. Different way to obscure the face. I like that. I can relate to that. Great production. It's like a real sense of scope behind it. The kick drum sounds great too. Kind of want to see where this is going. Ooh, we got some acoustic. Ooh, that is quite lovely. Tracks are on the longer side. We got a little like synth there. I like that little swell of it too. That's nice. Even though they don't really sound alike, I feel like this is a band I would recommend to fans of like Panopticon. There are little like allusions, especially to like Autumn Eternal in particular. It's got a similar kind of vibe to it. Vibe check. I like that. Good mix of the just aggressive black metal style. Ooh. Some more like haunting, clean vocals here. That's beautiful. But it's like already been a great list today. As always, I feel like the recommendations keep getting better. Y'all awesome. But closing out strong. Got a few more left though. But yeah, I'm going to continue on. But that's Feral Season with Rotting Body in the Range of Light. Then we have Grima with Rotten Garden. I think this was a fan request, potentially off of the comments of my best black metal albums of the year video. And yeah, I did sample a little bit of this, and I was like, okay, I need to feature it at least somewhere. That cover's so familiar, I'm wondering if I already covered it before, but it's alright, it's good enough to cover again. More atmospheric black metal. Again, huge sense of scope. We got Russia and Siberia in the tags here. So I'm wondering if that's where the band is from. It's just this deep sense of coldness to it. That's very grandiose. Very mournful. But not like depressive either. There's like this tinge of like hope to it. I like these little like twinkling notes there too. Like little icicles. Great dynamics too. Like just really, I could see why, if I'm correct, and why somebody would recommend this on my Best of the Year video. Because this definitely, probably could have been a contender. Yeah, what they're doing, I don't know if that's a guitar effect or if that's synth or what that is, but that little like twinkling effect they have going. And then these very Blizzard-like guitars. Ooh, some accordions. Y'all speaking my language. I need to go back in my inbox, because I might have a download of this. Stunning. Stunning's the only word that I think fully captures this. Wow. And that's just me, like, skipping through this a little bit like a total noob. Yeah, it seems like there's a lot to take in here. Yeah, a little sample to get you interested. Check out Grima with Rotten Garden. Then we have Morodina Rika with this. Another one I'm not going to be able to pronounce. Another Russian group. Oh, it's called Foreshadowing, looks like. New Russian folk band, Celtic, Nordic, and Russian traditions mixed in one interesting project. Always down for more folk, y'all. I need it. I need it. Gimme it. I crave it. Ooh. Yeah, you once more speak my language here. Oof. It's giving me goosebumps. The strings, the like hand drums. A little bit of like Heilung in there, but then also like Ensiferum. What an intro. Ugh, these strings, such majesty. I'm curious how heavy it gets. Not that it matters, like I'm already into it. If the whole album's like this, I'm fine with that, but I'm curious if we also have some heavier moments. It says folk band, not folk metal, to be fair. The vocals are beautiful. I love how they're layering these harmonies. The composition is just off the charts. Like, this is some very professional sounding stuff. I don't know what kind of backing this band has, but they're making the most of it, whatever it is. This is captivating. Really like that cover too. I feel like it fits style here. Something about it too, as I'm listening to this, you're watching me probably a week or two after I recorded this, but it is December 23rd as I'm listening to this, and something about it just feels like it fits the season too. I don't know why. Beautiful. But yeah, that is Morodina Rika with Foreshadowing. Then we have Velka with Purgatory Ignis Ludicium. We're on a black metal track today, it seems like. A few of them. Black metal from the Basque country. of Spain. More aggro this time. Those like raw blast beats thrown back to like Gorgoroth. Like that. Reminds me a little bit of Toke as well. There's like a sense of melody, but it's still very aggressive. Kind of a blazing fire kind of sound to it, which fitting to the cover. I feel like the riffs are this right here. It's like, it's a meme. Me, these riffs. Yeah, I'm digging it so far. I like that balance of like, there's a certain beauty to the melodies, but it's also still very like, malevolent sounding. Yeah, very good. Good, some variety in the vocals too. I like how they're mixing the highs and lows. The one was a little bit more gurgly. Y'all just keep sending me awesome stuff. Stuff that I wouldn't find otherwise too. This is stuff that I'm not even necessarily gonna get in my inbox through like a label or anything. Straight from the fans, straight from the bands. Like, those tend to be some of my favorite things to get. Yeah, that is Velka with Purgatory Ignis Ludicium. And then we have Galga with Lokalig, something like that, out of Denmark. Love this cover. Beautiful. Kind of like morbid, macabre, but also artful. Got in the tags: black metal, death metal, grindcore, hardcore, shoegaze. Lots of different things going on there. Starting off kind of like sludgy. Here's more of that like black metal element there. Ooh, nice transition there. I like these hybrid bands. Ooh. This one's gonna be hard to skip through, I can tell, because, ooh, it's all these transitions. It's like every 10 seconds there's something different going on. Very cool riffs. Kind of have this like feeling like the riffs are kind of like circling around you. Ooh. More aggro on this one. You know, this other album looks familiar. I wonder if I've heard from these guys before. Oof. Kind of Opeth-y riff. Like a really heavy Opeth riff. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, I like that. Dang, y'all are really killing it on this last few picks. Ooh, that squeal too. This is sick. There's death metal and black metal all coming together here. Man, I wanted to keep listening to that song. Yeah, this sounds fantastic. Ooh. Ooh. That was nasty. Y'all put a smile on my face for this one. It's like each album better than the last. And all different, too. All caught me off guard for different reasons. Magnificent. Yeah, I'm gonna have to download this one, too. So many good picks, so much good music to choose from. It's just hard to keep track of it all. So I thank you all, as always, for continuing to grow the viewer base for this particular series, because the fact that I can just sit here and like sample music with y'all and kind of just hang out, and you know, over 1,000 people now watch, that's awesome. But yeah, that is Galga with Lokalig. Alright, y'all, I think that is plenty for today, but continue sending me submissions to the email, and check out this playlist for plenty more Best of Bandcamp. Also subscribe if you're new here, because I do plenty of other types of videos, Best of the Month lists, album reviews for new releases, you name it, we got it. So, plenty of reasons too. That said, Flight of Icarus, signing off. I will see you in the trenches.